guys, if everyone wants to start to make their way to their seat, we're about to kick off our CIP form. And in case you missed it, there is a sign-in sheet in back for our citizens. If you'll sign in, we like to have that documentation. And I think that we're ready to get started. So good evening. Thank you all very much for coming. My name is Kimberly Hawley, and I'm the budget manager for the city. So we have just a real short presentation for you this evening. And then it's just really simple. We're just going to open that microphone right up here up to the public. If you will, if you have something you want to share with us, if you'll just remember to please use the microphone, because we are live streaming on SATV and Facebook Live. So, all right, we're going to switch over to our presentation real quickly. So our capital improvement plan is, oh, I have the mic. Okay, our capital improvement plan is our planning and investments over the next 5 years. So these are from fiscal year 19 to fiscal year 2024. And these projects have a useful life that's greater than 3 years and requires more than 6 months to complete. So of course, the major projects that come to mind is your streets, your water infrastructure, your new parks, and items similar to that. Okay, currently proposed, we have about 80 projects that are to begin before 2024. And that's about $425 million worth of project expenses. And that's just in our current budget in fiscal year 18 and then out to 2024. There's 88 potential projects. Those are projects that aren't necessarily going to begin within the next 5 years, but we have on our radar we know might need to happen after that time frame. And of course, this information is available to you at our website, and that's cosatx.us. And there's also a survey on our website. And here are some of the ways that we can fund our CIP projects. For example, our water fund, we're trying to cash flow as much as possible. Our streets, we're issuing $16 million in debt every 2 years. We also try to leverage a lot of our funds with grant dollars to make those tax dollars go a little further. And of course, we had our Facebook Live that is still available for you to view on March 7th. Of course, tonight's we're having our town hall meeting. And then our CIP survey is available on our website at CIP Input. So if you'll please take your survey, all of that data will be gathered and given to our city council before they make their decision on approving our CIP. And that's really all we have for you. The CIP is being proposed to be adopted on April 1st. So if you would also like to express at that council meeting. Other than that, we have a microphone up here for our community to use. If you'd like to come forward, please just remember to state your name and share what you have with us.
Good evening. Can you all hear me? Okay. My name is Shirley Spears. I'm a resident of San Angelo, and I am president of the NAACP. We have had several of our members to complete the survey and watch the Facebook on live. Several of us are here tonight. We have a few things that we'd like to share for consideration for the budget. The officers, executive leadership, and members of the San Angelo National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, also known as the NAACP, has the following grievances that they wish to have consideration for in the upcoming budget considerations. As the City of San Angelo begins the process of understanding these requests, the needs of the citizens of San Angelo, it is our desire to note the following items at this juncture as critical items to help improve the lives of citizens who reside, work, and play in the northern section of this city. First, we have communicated the following concern to the City of San Angelo's Park and Recreation Department, to Single-Member District 4 City Councilwoman Lucy Gonzalez, and Chief of Police Frank Carter. The first one has to do with the Martin Luther King Park. The second one has to do with lighting on 14th and Martin Luther King. And the third has to do with covered bus stops. The Martin Luther King Park, which is located on Martin Luther King Drive, is in dire need of upgrading the restroom facilities. Since approximately 2004, the restroom facilities are portable units or porta potties for the visitors of this park. It has had these facilities longer than any other park in the city, and we are not aware that any efforts have been undertaken to secure funding either through grants or public and city funds to ensure this park is on the same playing field as other parks in the city. We have discussed the matter publicly at the most recent Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee, and we are clear that there is some uncertainty within the City Parks and Recreation Department as to the definition of a community park versus a neighborhood park. And we have been promised a clarification of that at the next meeting, and we are satisfied with getting that definition. But we want consideration for the replacement of the restrooms at the park. The community and neighborhood in the immediate area of the park is comprised of middle-aged and young parents. We believe that if the park had appropriate facilities, the neighbors and those outside of the area would utilize the park as an outlet for their children, grandchildren, and for themselves. The concern over the safety aspects of the park is another issue. History has revealed some safety concerns at the park, with criminal elements being present there. As a result, we are asking that in considering the replacement of the bathroom, that gates similar to those at the Bosque and other parks in the city that have timers be included in the cost and replacement efforts. We believe this will dramatically reduce any potential offenses intended for criminal activity within the restroom facility itself. Additionally, we ask that signage be provided which addresses the park hours, and we have received statistics from Chief Carter, and there was no alarming criminal statistics that we received from that park. So we are simply saying that further use and increased use of the park will further help the police department with curbing crime in that particular park here in the city. We believe it's unacceptable that the park that has been named in honor of one of the greatest men of the 20th century who fought daily for equity and fairness has been left unattended. And we ask for the funds to be dedicated and prioritized to solve this problem, which includes the replacement of the bathrooms, improved lighting, and general care for the welfare and safety of the park and the community residents. Number 2 has to do with the street light at 14th and Martin Luther King Drive. And we understand that a couple of years ago, that light was removed. We recall talking with the city council representative in that district, and nothing has changed. The light is still gone. However, there are older residents who drive 14th Street and Martin Luther King on a regular basis to either go home and or to their churches. And they are very uncomfortable now that that light has been removed. So we're asking for there to be perhaps another traffic study to determine the number of accidents and so forth at that intersection, and possibly replace that lighting at that intersection. Finally, there is concern about the lack of safe and covered bus stop benches in this community. Many residents utilize the bus and are susceptible to spending time in the extremely hot West Texas heat or cold without the benefit of covered benches. Many parents travel the bus system with young children who are also subjected to the lack of cover. There are newly covered bus stops in other areas of the city, and we believe consideration is warranted to install covers for those stops in the northern part of the city. We recognize the bike lanes that were placed in this community and are appreciative for that enhancement. However, a better value to the residents in this particular community is to have a level of protection from the weather as they utilize the public transit system. We are asking for consideration to install covers in those areas where there is currently nothing there. In closing, know that the San Angelo NAACP Unit 6219 has become engaged in community matters affecting the residents in this particular neighborhood. We will work to encourage the residents to talk with us about their concerns and either direct them individually to the appropriate city resource or assist them, as we are doing today, to represent them in any concerns over improved quality of life in the city of San Angelo. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else would like to come forward?
Hi, my name is Joyce Lowe, and I'm a citizen of San Angelo. I'm also a member of the Fort Concho Museum Advisory Board, and I'd like to speak on behalf of the projects that are included in the plan that benefit the fort. The following projects are listed in the plan. Our Barracks 1 and 2 Visitor Center project is very important, and we'd like to have funding for that. Reconstruction of barracks and mess halls 3 and 4, which would be a future library and archives. We have a new collection that needs to be preserved and available for folks to utilize. We'd like to request funding for repairs and renovations of officer quarters 2, 6, and 8. All of our roofs need to be replaced there to preserve that valuable resource. Reconstruction of Company Street for the safety of our visitors, and the demolition of the Riddle Building, which is a distressed building on South Oaks across from the parade ground. We'd like to see that cleaned up so it presents a better visual for our visitors. And so we're just asking that Fort Concho be supported as the resource that it is and that it's deserving of being supported. Thank you.
Is there anybody else who's wanting to come forward? All right, if somebody else would like to come forward, we're happy to listen and take notes of your request. If not, I think that's all we have for you this evening.
Live area. Sorry about that. So if you would please visit the Facebook and put your comments in there as well. I know we're looking for the surveys to come back. There's people out there that are a little bit more savvy that rather not have to write it down and submit it. You can submit it, of course, online, but really you can make your comments also on the Facebook Live. So there's really good information. I think Anthony Wilson, our public information officer, did a really good job of asking the right questions, and staff was there readily to answer those questions. So again, view that, and if you have any ideas that pop up from that, we'd like to hear from you. But again, we are going to be here afterwards for as long as you need us. I know sometimes people are a little bit hesitant to come to the microphone, but we'll hang around. If you have any questions, any suggestions, we'd love to hear from you as well. So we'll hang around for as long as you need us to.
All right, thank you all again for coming out. And like Daniel said, please don't forget to take our survey. It's on our website. Thank you.